Hello, welcome to the Kitchen Spy. My name is Kate and this is another recipe video. I hope it finds you safe and well. So this is so simple, it's barely a recipe actually. It's my cheese and potato pie, but quite a lot of people have asked for it and that's why I'm doing it. It's very cheap, very easy. And it's basically just a few ingredients just thrown together. So forgive its simplicity, but it is really tasty, very comforting. So let's have a look at the ingredients. Just a word of warning here is that this is not a low-calorie recipe. It's cheese and potato pie, so I'm not sure that you could make that low-calorie, and nor would you want to. I think it's just a lovely, lovely thing to eat. So I am actually going to use some oil for a change. So this is 1 tablespoon of olive oil in this lovely glass, which came from a set that was a gift. Anyway, then we've got some cayenne pepper, and this is literally just a sprinkle on the top as we put it into the oven. You don't have to use that if you don't want to, or you can use paprika. Then I've got a medium onion chopped up quite finely, and this weighed in at 116 grams. Then I've got 300 grams of extra strong cheddar. I think it pays to have the stronger, it just gives a better flavour. And then I've got 1200 grams of potatoes, that's about 2.5 pounds, just chopped into chunks because they're just going to get boiled. And then I've got pepper and salt as well. So just a few ingredients, so it is really simple and really cheap. So we just need to get the potatoes onto boil. I always add salt to the water when I'm boiling potatoes, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So we just need to boil them until they're cooked through and you can easily push a fork or a knife into the potato. Then we need to cook the onions, so I'm using the oil here. It feels weird putting oil into a dish, but I figure if it's got so much cheese in it, it doesn't really matter whether you've got a tablespoon of oil or a few squirts of oil. So we just need to fry off these onions until they're really lovely and golden brown, because here we do really want a nice colour on the onions. So as long as it takes, just on a fairly low heat, if you just fry off the onions, and then once they're cooked, just leave them to one side and then we'll use them later in the dish. Once the potatoes are cooked, we need to mash them thoroughly so that they're really, really smooth. This recipe is really good as a workout for your arms because you're either mashing something or really mixing something that's quite sticky and gloopy. So just mash them thoroughly and make sure that you get as many lumps out of them as you possibly can. And then it really is just a case of putting the dish together. So put the cheese in with the potatoes. It's important that the potatoes are still warm when you do this bit, because obviously you want the cheese to melt into the potato. And just make sure that you leave yourself enough cheese to cover the pie before you put it into the oven, and obviously that depends on the size of your dish. You're going to need an oven-proof dish to do this because obviously it's going in the oven. So you just mix it all the way through, and it is actually quite hard work, but it's worth it. And just make sure that all of the cheese is mixed in and melted through. Then once you've got the cheese all in, then we need to just give it a good old season with some salt and some pepper. And again, if you want to miss the salt out, then fine, but I think the pepper adds a good flavour. This is such a simple recipe, I'm almost embarrassed to show you. And it's not really a pie, it's not got any pastry or anything, but we call it cheese and potato pie. It's cheesy mash really, I suppose. But doing it this way and baking it in the oven just gives it a certain something. So make sure it's seasoned well and mixing in between the seasonings, because this mixture is actually quite gloopy. So it's important that we get as much of the pepper all the way through as possible. Then we need to just add the onions. So these are the onions we cooked earlier, and again just really mixing those guys through the potato. So all that's left to do now is really just dollop it into your oven proof dish and pop it in the oven. So I'm cooking this in the fan oven, so I'm doing this on 160 fan, which is 180C, 350F or gas mark 4. So then we just need to dollop all of the potato into the dish, and there is something quite satisfying about that, I think. So not only is this a comforting meal to eat, it's also quite therapeutic to make. This will make 4 portions and it freezes quite well, and what I tend to do is freeze it in individual portions, and you can use it as cheese and potato pie as a main dish, or actually if you do smaller portions you could actually use this just as a side with some meat or something. So it is quite versatile. Once all the potato is in the dish, then just make some kind of pattern on the top, and then we just need to sprinkle the cheese that we've got left over. You can use either the same cheese that went in like I'm doing here, or you could perhaps sprinkle on some Parmesan or any kind of cheese you want to. It just gives it an extra something, having that extra bit of cheese on top. When I cook anything with cheese on the top, I tend to put some spice just sprinkled over the top. I either use paprika or cayenne pepper, and today I'm using cayenne pepper. So you just sprinkle that liberally over. It not only gives it just a nice flavour, but it also makes it look good when it comes out of the oven. And then we just pop this in the oven for about 40 minutes. Once it's finished, as you can see, here it is looking lovely and golden, and it actually puffs up quite a lot as well. So the oven bit does actually do something to the texture of the dish, and as you can see here, this is looking rather delicious. Now normally we serve this with baked beans, and that would be the ideal thing in my opinion, but today my husband wanted peas and tomatoes, so that's what I did. I didn't eat this actually. I'm again still trying to lose a little bit of weight, so I'm not eating this today. So the 3 portions will go into the freezer. So here it is all served up with these peas and tomatoes. So the actual pie itself, the quarter here of the pie, was 599 calories, and that entire plate of food came in at 690. So even though there's a lot of cheese and even though there's a lot of potato, actually the calories aren't so bad if you consider that this is a really comforting and tasty meal, and you could easily put that into a calorie controlled diet if you just had salad or something for lunch. So there you go, there's the recipe. It's incredibly simple but really tasty. If you do give it a go, please let me know how you get on. I'll leave the ingredients down below, and thank you so much for watching. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for your support. It really means the world. And if you're not a subscriber already and you feel like you might want to watch my recipes, food hauls and meals of the week, then consider giving the subscribe button that will be popping up soon a click, and also the notification button, and then you'll hear when I put new videos up. Anyway, I hope to see you again soon. Take care, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.